I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. Today is Tuesday, so that means I will be critiquing one of your paintings or drawings. If you would like to have one of your original paintings or drawings critiqued, head over to my website at lachri.com/critiques. The link will be down below in the video description, and you can submit your work there. Today we are taking a look at artist Arthur. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name and save us both the embarrassment, but it will be written below in the video description and next to your painting. But we are taking a look at artist Arthur's penguin. He says his goal with his paintings is to make people think and smile, which is a pretty awesome goal. If you want to see more of Arthur's work, head over to his website. The link is down below in the video description as well. Now for this piece, I was actually tempted not to critique it because there's not a whole lot that would need to be adjusted at all. It's just overall such a strong piece. So instead, we are going to pretty much be focusing on what works in the piece and why it works. First is the overall composition. Keeping it very simple worked so well for this painting. The drawing itself is very, very strong. And this is one of the things that I think new artists especially really need to focus more on. I see so often where they'll start off with a drawing that's not strong, it's not drawn correctly, and they want to jump right into painting. If your drawing skills are not strong, try tracing first, or using a projector. Use one of the tools that we've talked about before. It's not cheating because you still have to do all the work of the painting, but it's also teaching you to draw more accurately. It's teaching you or forcing you to notice details that you wouldn't have noticed before. If you do something correctly over and over and over again, when you do it incorrectly, you're going to notice what's wrong and why that doesn't work. So it's really, they're helpful tools in strengthening your drawing skills. In this case, he started off with a really good drawing, so adding the paint was only going to enhance it. If your painting has started off but not so great, adding the paint, it's just going to be a frustrating experience to you because adding the paint really isn't going to fix it. You end up sitting there going, okay, my eye's too big, or it's too small, or it's too far to the left, and you keep trying to adjust that in your painting over and over and over again. Start off with your drawing being correct in the first place before you hit the canvas with the paint. The next thing is the color palette. He's used a very limited color palette in this, and that was perfect. I mean, the colors that he's using, he's only got 4 colors, black, white, blue, and red, and they are just all working together nicely. They're not fighting with each other. Nothing is really overbalanced. The shading on this is great. He's got brush marks that are showing, but they're going in the right direction. They're showing, you know, on the hat, they're curved around the edge of the hat. For the jacket, they're angled downwards. When you're going to leave your brush strokes showing, just make sure they're going in the right direction. For this piece, it gives it a slightly more textured look. It just worked really well. Normally on paintings that have a lot of white, the white shouldn't be white, but this piece is going to be the exception to that. I wouldn't shade that penguin any more than what he is now because it's, again, the whole flow, the design, the composition, all of that is just working so well with itself that shading it would take away from that contrast. So where I normally get on people about leaving their whites that white all over the place, this piece, it works. So this is an example of there are exceptions to every rule. The eye on this penguin is shaded exactly how I've been talking about lately, having the shadow directly under that upper eyelid and a highlight on the underside of the iris. Just it's lighter down there where the light is escaping, and then the little sparkle light on the upper section of the pupil. It gives it more depth. It makes it look more realistic. For the background on this painting, one of the reasons that this works so well is he's lit right behind the penguin, and this is forcing or giving you more contrast between the blacks and that blue. It makes it stand out more. Had he used a darker blue or blacks or anything else in that background, the penguin wouldn't stand out quite as nicely. So the way that he's got it highlighted, I've got it on my lap, so that's why I keep looking down. But the way that he's got it highlighted directly behind the penguin, this is forcing your attention back into the center to the penguin's face. The hat and the jacket kind of fade out into the background, which is nice because you can see that they're there. He's got the detail there in the highlights, but they're so subtle that your attention isn't really drawn to those two areas. It's kept within the face of the penguin. If I was going to get really, really nitpicky, I would probably add a little bit more of a shadow under the bow tie just to give that a little bit more depth, but that's seriously being nitpicky. This painting is a really good example of sometimes keeping your painting very, very simple is a way better way to go. I mean, if you took this same penguin and put him out into a forest scene, it's just not going to work the same. It doesn't have that, well, in his case, it's supposed to be an actual portrait, so that is different. But I mean, had you had details and a lot of stuff going on in the background, it would take away from the overall piece in this case. Not all cases, but again, just this is an example of why sometimes going simple is better. When you guys are designing your paintings, just remember you don't have to do tons and tons of detail to have a really strong piece. Some of my most popular paintings were ones that really didn't have a whole lot going on. Doing simple studies like this, where you're, in this case he's focusing on the penguin's head, doing that sort of thing when you're starting to paint, that is such a good way to strengthen your drawing and painting skills. Let's say you wanted to get really good at painting landscapes. Do a few studies on just the mountains, just rocks, just the trees. Really focus on and practice doing those. It'll make it much, much easier for you when you go through and put them all together. The same thing if you're doing portraits. Practice drawing just the nose or just the eye and getting all of the shading and everything on there before you do the full portrait. Again, it just makes it so much easier for you when you do the full piece. Studies are very, very helpful. Keeping it simple and breaking your painting down into smaller studies can make your work so much stronger and make it so much easier for you to learn. Anyway, back to you, Arthur. This is a phenomenal piece. I am so impressed by your work. I cannot believe that you're only 16. Cannot wait to see what your work looks like in 10 years. This is really, really good. Your sense of contrast, your design, your composition, I mean, everything is just working so well in this painting. If you have an original painting or drawing that you would like to submit for critique, head over to my website at lachri.com/critiques. Link is down below in the video description, and you can submit your work there. I have new video critiques every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, and new painting and drawing demonstrations and tutorials every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to head back tomorrow where I will be demonstrating this giraffe painting with monarch butterflies. See you guys tomorrow.